I'm Mandy.
And I'm Jessica.
And this is The Coop.
This is Coop Faves, where we share our favorite homeschooling resources and adventures.
Today's fave is our favorite podcast episode from our own podcast.
Yep.
So hopefully this will inspire you to check out some of these old podcasts that we've shared, and maybe it'll re-inspire you or help a friend out by recommending it. And what's cool is we're each surprising each other with what we picked. So we're hearing it for the first time. But first, we have an announcement.
We're taking a break.
Why are we taking a break?
We have some exciting things going on.
We do. We want to let you know that we are currently working on a homeschooling book and e-course. And so we want to devote some time to that.
Yeah.
So we're going to miss you, and we love you, and we hope you will share us with your friends, and hopefully we'll check back in a few months.
We'll probably be back sooner than later because this is one of our favorite things to do together, and we've grown a lot doing the podcast. And
Totally.
Yeah, it's really great. But we have these other aspirations and not a lot of time because we're busy homeschooling our kids.
Exactly. Yes. All right. So now let's share our favorite episode.
Okay. Me?
Yes.
Okay. My favorite episode is episode 80, Homeschool Successes.
Oh, yes.
So this aired April 10th, 2022. So just last year. But I love this episode because it's such an encouragement to me. Just sharing the ways that I saw success that particular school year. And a reminder of how to measure success. Mm-hmm. So in the episode, we give examples of how you could measure success within your own homeschool, how we do it in our homeschools. Mandy, one of yours was by comparing what you're doing to your mission statement. Mm-hmm. You know, to be able to look at what your goals are, your mission as a family, and to say, is it meeting this? Mm-hmm. You know, and you were saying specifically, it's to help you not have FOMO on what other amazing things you see other families doing.
Yeah.
You don't need to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's meeting their mission.
Or else you get swept up.
Yeah.
Or swept up. You get swept up in what other people are doing because it's all wonderful things you're hearing about.
Absolutely.
And then you can still feel disappointment because you didn't address what you really wanted to. You didn't focus on the mission of why you're homeschooling and what you wanted.
Keep jumping instead of sticking to the plan. You know, a lot of times we make a plan and then we jump around and realize we never fulfilled the plan.
Yeah.
So I think there was a lot going for that. I said that I'm always looking for applied learning. Mm-hmm. I look for moments where things come out of my kids that I said, yes, that's what we just did. Or there it is. Because I can sit back and say, okay, that worked. Because we don't use tests. I don't have those types of measurements to know what my kids are really retaining and able to use. But because we're out in the real world so much, they can say something and show me that they actually learned it. Not that they have it memorized, but they know how to use it. And so that was such a great way. And we both gave examples. You even talked about progress in character and seeing our kids grow and develop in character and measuring that as its own type of success. And then we
Tell
shared,
me more.
I know, what else did I say?
I got to re-listen to this.
And then the success you shared for your school year was completing your human body unit study and really being intentional about sticking to the unit, being true to what you guys were doing and not worrying about a timeline. It went on far longer than you had expected it to, but at the same time you knew it would be okay.
Right.
You know, you were prepared to do what it took. You did your experiments and your dissections and these things that were uncomfortable to you, but it was successful because you gave it the time. And so I thought that was really great. And mine was actually very similar, even though at the time I think we thought they were very different. But mine was that for the first time with my daughter, I was really diving into unit studies and seeing things through. Rather than doing things in little bursts of interest here and there, I was ready to stick to unit studies. And then we paired a couple together. We went on our road trip. We were able to actually see the kids use that information, and that was really valuable to me. And then...
and it's fun and inspiring to watch you do that, you know? And because it's so nice when your homeschooling mom friends feel success.
Exactly.
You
It's
know,
everyone's success.
Yeah, it is.
We're all cheering each other on. And then in this episode, I'm still in the middle of my California history unit study, which now is its own Fave episode. We just aired. And I completed it. And it was amazing. And so that is a success, even though I wasn't 100% sure about that during this episode airing. But it was really successful. I'm so glad we did it. It was hugely in depth. That was our biggest one. But it was such a success to me to just be able to just dive in wholeheartedly into something. And then this past fall, we went on our California road trip and got to use so much of that information and that knowledge and have it applied and recalled. And that was really awesome.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah. So that's my favorite episode.
And it's in that episode is in our top 10 most listened to episodes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Well, my episode is also in our top 10 most listened to episodes. Yes. It is the co-op.
Oh, yeah.
So
Episode 1.
Episode 46. But I'm going to just mention what 47 and 49 do as well, just because it's nice to listen to it all together. And that's what I did.
Right.
I re-listened to it, of course. I re-listened to all of our episodes, let's be honest. But, okay, so these episodes are for homeschoolers who want community and don't have one, right? And so people are constantly looking for community. And what we do in this episode and the whole series is we share what the different community options are, right? And we talk about how you can personalize it for you. So one of the biggest nuggets I think that we share in that is how you need to find the community that fits you and your child and your family.
Yeah.
And so that's what I love about it, because so many people say, oh, you need to sign up for this or you need to sign up for that. No, you don't. You need to find what fits you.
Right.
And so I love that we dive into that. And
yeah, it's really good.
And then each episode highlights something, a separate aspect. So the first one, like I said, the different kinds and all the options to create the community you want. Episode 47, what's cool about that one, that's the second co-op episode. It shows how our co-op formed organically.
Right.
And we talk about what worked and what didn't work and how we redirected, how we evolved, how we changed every year what we were doing, how we realized we liked having a theme.
Right.
And how we involved the moms more or less as time went. And you can really see how we struggle through and we didn't give up.
No.
And I love that, because it's easy to give up on something that takes a lot of time and effort.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. But the friendships are worth it. And so we talk a lot about that.
Right. And we're almost 2 years removed from that episode now. I don't know
if that
know
was
what
season
date it was, but
oh yeah, I didn't think to look up dates. But
it's 2 years, give or take a few months. And I have even more things to say.
Oh, definitely.
And mostly all good things to say about our co-op and how it blesses us and how I'm so thankful we invested in it and that we stuck it through even when it was challenging. Well, especially when it was challenging. We had one big year of growing pain, and then the rest have been more minor.
Yeah.
You and I have the long vision, and so we're like, well, I'll get past it. Yeah. We now feel that it'll be okay. We can fix anything that we encounter,
And that's why we have our handbook, right?
Exactly.
We were even typing in it today, like, oh, here's a problem we saw in communication, and actually we can just help them with this simply.
Right.
By pointing this out or helping them have this tool or whatever. And so it's constantly evolving. And so to me, that was inspiring and just shows like, take heart, like don't get discouraged,
right,
and move with your tribe, like change with your tribe, and just hold on to those friendships. So, and then the last episode of the series, episode 49, the third one, is all these fun ideas. It's how we come together and we talk about like Mad Hatter Tea Party and things like that. So
man,
it's just fun.
I feel like we could write a book about co-ops.
I think we could. That'd be a great one.
Yes.
We want to help. We want you to be able to have what we have.
Yes.
Whether it's how we measure success and helping you find how you measure success, or how we have, worked hard to have the tribe that we have.
Oh gosh, our co-op is so much work.
Yeah.
And so we're measuring these successes. Do you know how much we have to filter out of our brains to not be worried about how we're doing or to feel like failures all the time, you know, in order to measure success and feel good about what we're doing, because we do believe in what we do.
Yeah.
But it is not always easy to tune out what's happening around us and how we might compare our kids to what other kids are learning and doing and measuring their successes. And so I think that's a really nice perspective, is when we do get to celebrate, when we do learn and grow from what we've done. Those are highly celebratory moments.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. And can I give a shout out? I don't know if you have a shout out, but I have a shout out to episode 81. Oh. Planning our year 2022. And the reason I want to shoot out that one, however you say that, the reason I want to give that a shout out is not only is it in our top 10 episodes of all time, but it's so inspiring. We approached that planning episode different than our previous planning episodes. Yeah. We have the previous ones for episode 11 and episode 44. But episode 81, we talked about the new things that we were going to do and the things we were excited about. And so it's kind of a fun spring. I know. Well, I only re-listened to what I did.
Okay.
But I think you mentioned the co-op, actually, like, because you were excited about that and all the planning that we had going into that.
Right.
And that now your little guy is right in the prime age now of really investing and getting enrichment from it. And I mentioned like how I had found Brighter Day Press and how I liked, you know, that.
Yeah.
So, but what I like about it is it's inspiring. Whether or not that's something that you would do, it just reminds you every year, your cup can be refilled. Right. So when you're feeling, you can hear it in our voices. You can hear the excitement and the energy and like, okay, you ready for my next one?
This is what we're doing.
Yeah. And it's just fun to be like, you get a reset whenever you want to reset, but you get a reset and you can refill that cup.
Right. Are you feeling the itch now?
I know.
I'm already writing down notes for next year, because every year, every January, and right now it's the end of January as we film this episode, and every time I start getting the itch for next year, even though I'm nowhere near done with this year. But it's time to start wrapping your mind around it, because, you know, especially with charter schools, we kind of have like an end of season, and it's nice to start thinking and preparing, at least mentally, for it, and start curating resources. Because some we have to buy, some we need to borrow. What is better to use, you know? And so now is a great time.
I know. I mean, I was literally cleaning off our table in here, and we're in our quote-unquote fun room, but it's actually our schoolroom. But I name it fun.
Yeah.
And
learning is fun.
Yeah. And I was putting stuff away, and I was like, oh my goodness, we have so much to do to get to where I want to be, to be excited to start the next thing.
I know.
It's like, we have a lot of ancient civilizations still to do.
Yep, I know. And that's what we're doing next year, but we haven't even, we're not even to the revolution yet in my U.S. history, which I was hoping to be in November. So I'm really, and then this week, anyway, it's fine.
Yeah.
Learning doesn't have deadlines.
Yeah.
And so I need to just take my deep breath, and if this extends into summer, we can year-round school. Yeah. That's the whole point. That's why we didn't open most of our books this whole week, because we were doing other amazing things.
I know, we never did either.
So it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And you could even carry it into the fall of the next year.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It doesn't actually matter.
Rules. Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, it'd be fun if you caught up to me, though.
I know, right? Go slower and I'll go faster.
And then we can go to the King Tut exhibit together.
Yes.
All right, well, that's it, but we're going to miss you guys.
I do have a different kind of shout out.
Oh.
It's just ways that you might be able to support us while we're taking that break. Because we have our Etsy shop, and on the Etsy shop, we offer not just shirts to buy, although we have those. And
cute
some
stickers.
are pretty cute. If you need a little homeschool mug, there's some on there for you or your friends. But we also have downloadables. So we were talking about the co-op, and you alluded to it, but we actually have a co-op handbook that you can download. You can purchase and download through our Etsy shop. We have
it's a nice draft version for you to be like, oh, I do like that. I do want that as we set up our co-op or as we improve or enrich our co-op.
Exactly. And then we also have our homeschool starter packs 1 and 2. So maybe you're listening to this in anticipation of homeschooling in the future. Download those. Those are great jumping off points to help you figure out what directions you want to go. But while you're waiting for our next podcast season, feel free to support us through our Etsy shop. It's etsy.com. And then you can search for the Coop Homeschool as our shop.
And just look for the chicken.
You know it. Thanks for listening. We love your support. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast, leave a rating and review to let us know how we're doing, and share our podcast with your friends who need a little community, humility, and joyful fun in homeschooling.